This new build we're making is an F-16 breaking the sound barrier. It also has an illuminated outlet fire. But to come to this, as always, we have to start at the very beginning. This model is an Academy 1:144 scale. It has fairly few pieces and the instruction manual is actually pretty good. And as with every model, the first thing we have to do is cut all the pieces out and then sand them. As we want to have the fighter with an illuminated fire at the back, we have to cut like 2 holes in the exhaust to introduce an LED light. And as this LED is a 2.5 volt LED and the supply is going to be 5 volts, we have to connect 2 resistors in series, and one of those has to be in parallel with the LED. So the LED becomes just 2.5 volts. Once everything was welded together, I used some electrical tape and I just glued it into the interior upper side of the plane. I then cut a hole in the lower side of the plane to expose the wires through it. And finally, I could glue all the pieces together. The pieces left quite a few holes between them, so I just had to use some water plast to just fill all the holes and to make it just look better. After that, I could start with the paint job. I started with a gray primer, then I used a light gray for just as a base color, and then an ocean gray for the rear part of the plane. Then I used some black and some darker gray and even some white for some specific parts of the plane, like the missiles or the nose. To make the vapor cone, I cut up a circle in one of those plastic sleeves from a folder. I cut it in a way that I could bend it into a cone, which would fit around the aircraft. I glued it with super glue and I started laying some acrylic-based resin on it, usually made to simulate water, but I thought it could be of use here. I also used a little of this resin to make the flames in the exhaust. For the base, I cut an arrow-like shape out of foam. I run the wires through a brass tube and hollowed the lower side of the foam to introduce all the cables. The only thing remaining was to paint the resin in the exhaust in a transparent orange, to paint the base in black, and finally to apply all the decals. I have to say I applied the decals very bad. They were glossy and didn't curve as expected. In a future video I may show you how to apply them properly, because I've learned a lot after that mistake. But finally, after applying all the decals, I was done. And this is how it turned out. I think for the first time it wasn't that bad, was it? I really hope you all liked it. I'll leave you my Instagram and my TikTok in the description, and hopefully see you all soon.